Hello, and welcome to Lesson 7 of B.4, the Urbanization Unit. I'm Katie Easton, a high school science teacher using OpenSciEd. In this video, I will give you an overview of Lesson 7 and wrap up with some tips and tricks. Lesson 7 is really important because students start to realize that our current model of natural selection cannot explain situations of reduced fitness of species in urban environments. First, let's recap how we got to Lesson 7. During Lesson 6, we applied our knowledge of natural selection to a new scenario in a transfer task. We figured out that there is a positive relationship between antibiotic use and antibiotic resistance, and that natural selection causes an increase in the bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics. After the transfer task is complete, it is important to talk to the students about our populations that could be affected by urbanization. We connect back to Lesson 5 and bring up the knowledge we figured out about heritable variations between individuals, selection pressures, and Darwin's theory of evolution, to name a few. This discussion drives us to wonder what other populations could be affected by urbanization and natural selection besides bacteria, rats, hawksbeards, and juncos. Let's take a look at the highlights of Lesson 7. Lesson 7 takes two 45-minute days. The 20 minutes of material preparation listed here is to prepare copies of the Florida Panther reading. Students will need to use their individual devices on day 2 for a visual inquiry using a provided Google slide show in groups. I post this slide deck to our learning management system, Canvas, for students to use during day 2. There are two big chunks in this lesson. Let's discuss what's happening in each. The first lesson chunk is explored on day 1. In this lesson chunk, students are introduced to a new case involving the Florida panther. We read about this species and apply our class consensus model of natural selection to this case. Students figure out that our model cannot explain why some populations have reduced fitness in urban environments. The students begin to question what our model is missing and how can we help non-human populations that are affected by urbanization. This leads us to our next making sense loop, when we will learn about a plan in Buckeye, Arizona. The second lesson chunk occurs on day 2. Students have been asking questions about urbanization and the effects on non-human populations. We learn that the Florida panther is not the only species affected by urbanization. We learn about the mountain lions in the west and are introduced to Buckeye, Arizona, a city that is focused on protecting biodiversity as urbanization happens. Through discussions from a visual inquiry using Google Slides, students figure out that as cities grow, they can plan for systems that prevent harm to non-human populations. This will lead us to our next lesson when we study how fragmentation can affect non-human populations. So in summary, on day 1 of Lesson 7, students are introduced to the Florida panther and we discuss how our consensus model of natural selection cannot fully explain why some populations have reduced fitness in urban environments. On day 2, students learn about Buckeye, Arizona, and find out that cities can plan for systems to prevent harm to non-human populations. Let's take a moment and look at the key moments in Lesson 7. One of the key moments of Lesson 7 is applying our current consensus model of natural selection to the Florida panther case. Students figure out that our model can explain how the Florida panther became adapted to their environment, but it can't explain the low fitness and low genetic diversity of the Florida panthers. Having the students discuss and figure out what they need to know or come up with questions we need to answer helps them to figure out that our model can't explain the Florida panther and helps lead us into our next set of lessons. It's important to keep coming back to the students' questions to push forward thinking and problematizing natural selection. Part 8 of Lesson 7 has a short blurb in the teacher edition with one quick slide to discuss. I spend at least double the 3-minute allotted time for this section and sometimes over 10 minutes. This discussion is done just before we learn about Buckeye, Arizona and the mountain lions in the area. It is important to give students time to discuss and think through possible ways that harm to non-human population can be prevented. It is also important to allow the students time to discuss examples they may know of or people trying to prevent harm to non-human populations. It brings relevancy to the next set of lessons and helps them to begin switching to a more engineering perspective of how we can help these non-human populations before they learn about the work being done in Buckeye. Part 11 and Lesson 7 prompts the next lesson set with new questions added to our driving question board. At this point in the curriculum, I start stepping away from the Padlets I use for driving question boards and have students set up the column headings and categorizing their own questions together without my guidance. These questions help set up the next lesson set. So look to break up questions based on science ideas or engineering ideas. Sometimes I'll give a hint to students on the board by dividing my whiteboard into 2 columns with science-related questions and engineering-related questions at the top. We really want to be looking for questions that will deepen our understanding of evolution through natural selection and questions that are related to engineering practices that will protect non-human species from the growth and urbanization of the human population. At the end of Lesson 7, we add questions to our driving question board to push forward our second set of lessons. In this unit, students begin asking questions centered around scientific ideas to explain low fitness in non-human populations and questions centered around engineering practices to prevent harm to non-human populations affected by urbanization. These questions push us forward into our next lesson, where we look at fragmentation and how it affects genetic diversity in populations. Let's talk about some helpful strategies in Lesson 7. Lesson 7 in this urbanization unit really sets up the second lesson set for the unit. These lessons make students problematize a new situation with the Florida panther and conclude that our current natural selection model is lacking pieces. They are introduced to Buckeye, Arizona, and the engineering practices happening in the area to lessen the city's effect on non-human populations. The largest tip I can give in this lesson is to allow for time. This is a 2-day lesson, but there are times I have taken 3 days to complete this lesson to allow students the time needed to really discuss ideas and experiences with each other. Even if you go over the 2 days listed for this lesson, give the students the time they need in discussions, and especially adding questions to the driving question board, as these will fuel the next set of lessons, and typically their questions end up better when allowed adequate thinking and discussion time. Biodiversity and resilience are talked about during the Serengeti unit, so we have seen them before, but we add new details to these previous definitions to create a more precise co-constructed meaning. We also see urbanization and genetic diversity in this lesson, which also have meaning early in this unit and now. In Lesson 7, we utilize our class consensus model of natural selection developed in previous lessons and our original driving question board. We do not create any new posters or materials in this lesson, but we will refer back to our updated driving question board during the lesson and future lessons. Well, this is Lesson 7 in a nutshell. I hope you find this helpful and join us again for Lesson 8 of the Urbanization Unit, where students are introduced to fragmentation and do a hands-on activity to discover how fragmentation can affect genetic diversity of a population. Thank you.